Move back to that one right now. Israel saying that they're going to move into Gaza. It impacts not just their relationship with the U.S., but their relationship with the rest of the world. So I want to bring in someone to help talk about this a little bit more. Lieutenant Colonel Daniel Davis. He is a senior fellow and military expert at Defense Priorities and also the host of the Daniel Davis Deep Dive YouTube show. So countries across the world are starting to question Israel's move into Gaza City, potentially into Gaza as a whole. So do you think Israel is risking isolating itself from its typical allies with this move?
Well, that's definitely happening. I mean, it's been happening for a while. And when you see German Chancellor Merz today said that we're going to suspend sending any weapons and ammunition to Israel right now, that was a major shot across the bow because they've been, other than the United States, they've been their biggest both diplomatic ally and military supplier, you know, because of all the connections that go back to the Holocaust during World War II, et cetera. And for them to take this stand on top of what you've had Keir Starmer of the UK and Emmanuel Macron of France, you know, saying they're going to recognize a Palestinian state in protest to what the Israelis have been doing. If they keep going down this path, they're going to continue losing support. And militarily, this is just not going to solve anything. If you haven't been able to militarily defeat the Hamas after closing in on 2 years now, this going back into the rubbled area of Gaza City certainly isn't going to change that outcome.
So in June, President Trump said he thought a ceasefire was just weeks away, and we're obviously, it appears, nowhere near that at the moment. So with this new American First policy that the Trump administration has been talking about, is there anything that you think the Trump administration should do or could do in response to this decision from Israel?
Well, certainly. I mean, if it's an America first, then we're going to look for our interests. And right now, we're frankly not doing that because no matter what we want, the Israelis are continuing to do whatever Benjamin Netanyahu thinks is in the interest of his people. And we've just continued to support it because it is definitely 100% not in American interest to continue to facilitate the starvation of a population and the destruction of their ability to even sustain life in there. That's just flat out not in our interest. And yet that is our policy right now, is to continue to support Israel. You had the president of the United States say, I think it was just yesterday, that, well, that's up to Israel. And unfortunately, it's not just up to Israel. It could also be up to us because we have leverage. We can say, well, if you're going to do that path, you're not going to do it with American weapons, with American arms and supplies, which Israel absolutely has to have to do this. So if our interest really is to look after American interests and not see this escalate, not see the population continue to suffer, then we have leverage to play, which is to withhold our ammunition. But so far, we have not been willing to either acknowledge Palestinian statehood like France and UK or to withhold weapons like Germany has. So you can draw from that whatever you want to draw.
Well, you mentioned the starvation in Gaza just this week. We saw a really graphic video of a hostage, emaciated, digging his own grave. And I want to warn anyone that these images are graphic. What could increased aggression by Israel mean for the hostages who are still alive in captivity?
That's the whole issue. I mean, it's unrealistic to think that the Palestinians who are holding these hostages, and they have been since this thing started, are going to give them better treatment than what their people are getting. And of course, I'm sure that's part of the intent. I think it was a bad move on their part to broadcast this because it just gives more ammunition, frankly, to the supporters of Israel to go on a hard line. So I think if they thought that was going to diminish support, they badly miscalculated. But the fact remains that Israel already has killed several hostages when they've been trying to rescue them over the course of the last nearly 2 years. And this is one of the reasons why the chief of staff of the Israeli Defense Forces was against this, because he said you're going into areas where the hostages are and more of them could get killed. So if you're looking to get the hostages back, this is not the best way to get that done. And in fact, it might actually result in their deaths.
So Israel says they're starting with Gaza City, but then not, at least from what Benjamin Netanyahu has said, a full takeover of Gaza is not off the table, something he's considering that would be a real reversal of Israel's withdrawal back in 2005. If Israel were to try to take over Gaza as a whole again, what would this mean for the area long term?
Man, it would be trouble for everybody long term, because that continues to eliminate any possibility that the people of Gaza have a chance for self-governance, much less a state of their own. It means the Israeli side is going to continue to bleed soldiers. They're going to continue to overwork their military, because there's already reports just this afternoon that there are reserve units in Israel that say they're advocating that some of their colleagues not report for the call-ups, because they're just worn out from all these, nearly 2 years of war. And this is going to just open-ended. It would take years. That's what the IDF chief said, and I agree with his assessment. And I don't think that Israel can sustain this, much less the ammunition, the weapons, and everything else that we would have to continue giving from our own stockpiles, because our production capacity is not enough to maintain everything that they need, plus what Ukraine needs, plus what we need to replace our losses. This is just not good for anybody, and I just don't think that the president should support this long term.
Retired Lieutenant Colonel Daniel Davis, thank you for spending some time with us this afternoon and sharing some of your insight. We appreciate it.
My pleasure.